Reef. It's because of this big rock wall behind me, which forms the side of this canyon, and it's called the Water Pocket Fold. And when the first white settlers came into Utah and came here, they had a whole lot of trouble getting over this place, and since they were formerly sailors, they referred to any obstacle that was difficult to get over or around as a reef. And they think that these little domes, you can see one there, maybe one there, on top of the reef looked like Capitol domes. So it's Capitol Reef. Whenever we see a big rock wall or a canyon, we can see layers in the rock, but here the layers are really big and really clear. So we're going to talk about these three different layers that you can see in the rock behind me, and they represent three very different periods in this land's history. The bottom one is sort of the reddish-brown one, is from when this area was mud flats. So those rocks have a lot of ripples in them and stuff from the water spreading over them. And then the second one is the gray-green one, and that's from volcanic ash that got compressed over conifer forests that had fallen down and drifted into the river. So there's a lot of petrified wood in it and a lot of volcanic ash. And then the very top is from sand dunes, because this was then a desert. And it got compressed also, and now we have three very nice layers of rock.
Be able to see on the wall behind me, but there are some interesting petroglyphs. There's some human-shaped figures and some bighorn sheep figures, and they're a little bit mysterious because no one knows too much about the groups of people that made them. But it's interesting to realize, as we're about to see in early Mormon homestead, that there were people here hundreds and hundreds of years before the Mormons. The reef part of Capitol Reef National Park comes from the fact that this fold in the earth is hard for the settlers to traverse, but the Capitol part comes from the big rounded stone structures like the one behind me, which is actually the Navajo Dome. But there's also the Capitol Dome and other domes that resemble the Capitol, Washington, D.C. Now that the rain let up, we are on our way to do a short hike. We're hiking through the Capitol Gorge, and we're hoping to see some interesting relics from the pioneer period in here. So about 50 feet to my right is the Pioneer Register, where pioneers from the late 1800s and early 1900s wrote their names and dates as they were traveling through this country, and it's really interesting and we're really glad we have it here. But to my left is AM and PM 2014, who have decided in the last year that it was a great idea to add their names to this list, but they have been identified and are being prosecuted, and they're going to be in big trouble. Talking head, but that's okay.
Oh.
They're really, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
good.
ready?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Orchard. It looks a lot like Orchard. Have you seen the good news? Orchard.